Okay, now we're going to factor ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, the only difference between this and what we did previously is there's a coefficient a in front of the x squared, so you can see this is 3x squared instead of just x squared. Okay, when we're factoring it, we're still going to make a good guess, just like we did before by making sure it multiplies to equal this number, but now we're going to make sure it also multiplies to equal this number. We're going to check by multiplying it out because we can't do it in our heads. And I'm going to make you do 2 good guesses, and then I'm going to have you check both of them. Even if the first one works, I'm going to make you do both of them because I'm an evil teacher. And so I can see if you're really doing your work. Okay, so for the first one, it says 3x to the second plus 7x plus 2. Okay, so I'm going to look at the first term. It's 3x to the second. I have to think of 2 factors of 3x to the second. So what do I multiply to get 3x to the second? I could do 3x times x. Since I'm guessing, let's try that. 3x times x in the first spot. Or you could do 3x times 1x. Okay, now let me check the last term, the c term. Think about what you multiply to get 2. How about 2 times 1? Since everything is positive, I'm going to go ahead and put positive 2 and positive 1. This is my first guess, and this is a good guess because it makes sense for the a term and the c term. Okay, now, but because I'm making you do a second guess, we're going to do a second guess. Now, the second guess is going to be very similar to the first guess, probably. It still has to equal 3x to the second. So I'm still going to use 3x times x. But to make it different, instead of doing 2 times 1, I'm going to try to do 1 times 2. And it doesn't seem like it will make a difference, but when you have ax squared, the a value makes it different when you switch the numbers. So now I'm going to check and see if they both work by multiplying them out. I can multiply them out by using the distributive property or the box method. I'll switch back and forth. You will do whichever method is most comfortable for you. Okay, so I'm going to do distributive on the first one, but I'll do the box on the second one. Okay, so if I distribute 3x times x is 3x to the second. 3x times 1 is 3x. Now I'll distribute the 2. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 1 is 2. Let me combine my like terms. So I have 3x to the second plus 5x plus 2. Now I'm going to look back at the original problem and see if they match. This has a plus 5x. This has a plus 7x. It doesn't match, which means this is an incorrect factoring. But I'm going to leave it there because my teacher asked me to show 2 attempts, even though one of them is going to be wrong. Okay, so let me multiply out the next one. Hopefully that's the correct factors. If it's not, I might have to make a third guess. Okay, so if I distribute 3x times x is 3x to the second. 3x times 2 is 6x plus 1x plus 1 times 2 is 2. Let me combine my like terms. 6x plus 1x is 7x. Okay, now let me check. Now I have a plus 7x in the middle, and there was a plus 7x on the original problem. So this is the correct factoring. So I'm going to go ahead and box the correct factoring, or I'm going to write correct. The other one's wrong, but I'm going to leave it there because my teacher wanted me to do 2 guesses. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the next one, so we kind of get in the habit of what is a good guess, and I'm going to check it by using the box method this time. But to start it off, let me make a good guess. Okay, if I check the first term, let me think about what I multiply to get 10e to the second. There's actually options. So maybe 5e times 2e, but it could also be 10e times 1e. Since I'm just guessing, I'm just going to try 5 and 2. It might not work, and I might have to try the 10 later. Let me look at the last term. Let's see, 3 times 1, 1 times 3, something like that. Okay, let's try it. Let me try, this is all positive, so I'll put a 3 here and a 1 here. That's my first guess. Okay, let me set up a second guess. I just have to make sure I change something. So I think I'm still going to do 5e times 2e, but instead of 3 times 1, I'm going to try 1 times 3. Okay, for my second guess, I might have also chosen to change these numbers, maybe use 10e and 1e to make it different. Okay, let me check and see which one multiplies out. I'm going to use the box. If you would like to distribute, you can distribute as long as you show me. I don't mind whichever way. Okay, so if I use the box, this is 5e plus 3 times 2e plus 1. 5e times 2e is 10e to the second. 2e times 3e is 6e. 1 times 5e is 5e. 1 times 3 is 3. So my check, I got 10e to the second. 6e plus 5e is going to be 11e plus 3. Is that what I wanted? No, I wanted a 17e. Okay, so this isn't right. Hopefully the next one's right. If it's not right, I'm going to have to make a third guess. Okay, I'm going to check with the box method, but again, you're welcome to distribute if that's your preferred method, as long as you show your work. So 5e plus 1, 2e plus 3. Okay, 5e times 2e is 10e to the second. 2 times 1e, 2e. 5e times 3 is 15e. 3 times 1 is 3. So let's see if this one works. 10e to the second, 2e plus 15e is 17 e's. And then I still have the plus 3. Is that what I wanted? Yes. So since it checked, this was the correct factors for the given polynomial. Okay, and if I had guessed it right the first time, I still would have shown my work only because I'm asking you to check it 2 different ways. Okay, so for example 3, I'm going to start introducing negative signs, but I'm going to do the same method. I'm just guessing and checking. Here, let me set up my second guess at the same time because I'm getting better at this. Okay, so 7y to the second must be 7y times 1y or 7y times y. 7y times y. Okay, let me look at the last number. It's at 2, so maybe 2 times 1, maybe 1 times 2, and it's a positive 2, so I'm going to try 2 and 1. Okay, now there's a negative sign in the middle, so actually it's going to end up being minus minus. I'm not going to put the minus minus there right now because I want you to know how to fix it in case you do the wrong signs, but if you know it's going to be a minus minus, you can put the correct signs in now. I'm going to put the wrong signs in now, and then I'm going to fix it later. Okay, so I guess 2 times 1, so let me try 1 times 2 on the other way. Okay, let's see. I'm going to distribute this time. So 7y times y, 7y to the second, 7y times 1, 7y plus 2 times y, plus 2 times 1, 7y to the second plus 9y plus 1. Is that what I wanted? It is not. Okay, fail. Next one. 7y times y is 7y to the second. 7y times 2 is 14y plus 1y. 1 times 2 plus 2. Okay, 14y plus 1y is 15y plus 2. Okay, it's not exactly what I wanted. I got a plus 15y, but I wanted a minus 15y. So just like before, since I have the right numbers, I just have my signs backwards. I'm going to go back and fix my signs. So I'm going to make this a minus and a minus. Okay, and I'm not going to recheck it, but I'm going to fix it before I box the answer to make sure it's the correct answer. You don't need to fix your check because if I see that it had the wrong signs here, I will assume that you went back and changed your signs so they are correct. Okay, also, if I had chosen to make it minus minus because I could tell from the beginning, I wouldn't have had to fix my sign later. I would have had it correct the first time. Let's try another one. Okay, the fourth one, 3x to the second minus 14x plus 8. I'm going to make 2 guesses. And then again, it's because my teacher's making me do 2 guesses. Otherwise, I would guess until I got it. Okay, say 3x to the second is 3x times 1x or 3x times x. Either way is this equivalent. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one the same, and I'll switch up the others. Okay, what do I times to get 8? Let's see, I could do 2 times 4. Let's try 2 times 4. Okay, since it's a positive 8, I'm going to put positives for now. But if you notice that the middle term is a negative and it has to add up to a negative, you might put a minus minus now. I'm fine with that. I'm also fine with you changing it at the end. Okay, since I did 2 times 4, let's make this 4 times 2. Okay. I also, if 2 and 4 don't work and 4 and 2 don't work, I could also try 8 times 1 or 1 times 8. Hopefully one of these works, but if not, I'm going to have to do a third guess. Okay, I'm going to box this time because I'm trying to alternate between the visual learners and the algebraic learners. So 3x plus 2, x plus 4. 3x times x, 3x to the second. X times 2 is 2x. 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times 2 is 8. So 3x to the second plus 2 and 12 is 14x plus 8. Oh, that's pretty good on the first try. Okay, so this is almost the same as this, but I have a plus 14x and I want a minus 14x, which means my numbers are right, my signs are off. So instead of a plus plus, I'm just going to go back and change it to a minus minus. Okay, this is going to fix my problem. I don't need to recheck it because I already know that the only thing wrong was my signs, not my numbers. Okay, now even though I guessed it right on the first try, my teacher's going to make me check my second guess. So I know this one's not going to work, but I'm still going to check it. Although if it does work, then I've made a mistake. 3x plus 4, x plus 2. 3x times x is 3x to the second. X times 4 is 4x. 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times 4 is 8. 4x and 6x is 10x. Plus 8, which is wrong, but I knew it was going to be wrong, so that's okay. Let's try 2 more. I'm changing the c term to a negative. So 3p to the second plus 2p minus 1. Okay, again, I'm making you do at least 2 guesses. Okay, so for 3p to the second, let's say 3p times p, or 3p times 1p would also be okay. 3p times p. Okay, for the last term, it's a negative 1. Okay, it is 1 times 1, but one of them has to be negative. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of guess and see which way it's going to go. So maybe I put negative 1, positive 1 on this one, but then on the other one, I'll do positive 1, negative 1. So these are considered 2 different guesses, even though they're very, very similar. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and multiply them both out and see which one's correct. Hopefully one of them's correct. Otherwise, I might have to do a third guess. So 3p times p, 3p to the second. And again, if you prefer the box, do the box. 3p times 1, 3p. Minus 1p, and then minus 1 times positive 1 is negative 1. 3p to the second, 3p minus 1p is 2p. Okay, yes, I finally got it right the first time. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Okay, I know the next one's wrong. I'm still going to check it because my teacher asked me to do 2 guesses and show the check for both of them. But I already know it's going to be wrong. 3p times p is 3p to the second. 3p times minus 1 is minus 3p plus 1p. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. So 3p to the second, negative 3p plus 1p is negative 2p minus 1. Okay, so that one's not right. I didn't think it was going to be right because I had already found the right answer, but it's very close. Okay, last one. Making a guess. Making another guess because my teacher's me. Okay, 5n to the second. How about 5n times n? Okay, let me look at the last number. Negative 2. So I'm going to need a positive and a negative. And I could switch them. Oh, this one might be trickier. Okay, how about if I do 2 minus 1? Minus 1. Okay, and then for the other one, I could switch the signs or I could switch the numbers. I'm going to switch the numbers. How about I make this a minus 1 and this a plus 2? So I switched the 2 and the 1. But again, I could have had different signs, so I'm guessing, but I might have to adjust my answer. So I'm going to use the box. Again, you can distribute or use the box method as long as you show me your check. 5n plus 2n minus 1. 5n times n is 5n to the second. n times 2, 2n, minus 1 times 5, negative 5n, negative 1 times 2, negative 2. So this is 5n to the second. 2n minus 5n is negative 3n minus 2. Is that right? No, because I wanted it to be negative 9. Okay, let's see if the next one's right. Okay, I'm going to box this time for the boxers in the class. Okay, so I did 5n minus 1, n plus 2. 5n times n, 5n to the second, n times negative 1, negative 1n, plus 10n minus 2. So I get 5n to the second. 10n minus 1n is positive 9n minus 2. Okay, am I right? I'm not right, but I'm really close. Okay, so I got a plus 9n. I want it to be a minus 9n. But the fact that it's the correct number is great. But my signs are backwards. So I'm going to go back to my original problem, and where the minus is, I'm going to switch it to a plus. And where the plus is, I'm going to switch it to a minus. Okay, and that's going to fix the negative sign. You don't have to recheck it, because I'll assume that after your check, you recognize that the sign was wrong. And then you went back and fixed it. Okay, and I am boxing my answer so that I can tell that you know which one's the correct answer.